Am I the a-hole for asking my cousin to pay for wedding invitations after she sent me a Venmo request? When my fiancé and I first sat down to draft our wedding budget, we thought we were bracing for the usual stressors: arguments over cake flavors, bickering about centerpiece heights, maybe a last-minute scramble over who had to sit next to Great Aunt Doris. We had no clue that the real powder keg would be paper. We'd secured a gorgeous midweek date at a local venue that felt both elegant and intimate. I loved that the space had ivy-draped trellises and old brick walls, like stepping into a storybook. We'd negotiated a reasonable catering package and decided to do our own florals with Costco bulk flowers. We thought we were being smart about costs. Then the invitation estimate arrived. I still remember the sinking feeling when I opened that email. $450 for 150 invitations. It included heavy cardstock, gold foil accents, custom calligraphy on the envelopes, and rush shipping because the printer's lead times were longer than we'd realized. It wasn't a luxury expense in the grand scheme of wedding budgets, but it nearly obliterated the cushion we'd set aside for emergencies. That night, we sat in front of our laptop, staring at a spreadsheet with more line items than I care to admit: lighting rentals, portable bathrooms, cocktail napkin monograms. Every cell in that spreadsheet seemed to whisper, "You're going to run out of money." After hours of talking ourselves in circles, my fiancé tentatively suggested, "What if we just asked guests to pitch in a little bit for the invitations? Like something symbolic, $3 per invite?" At first, I balked. It felt tacky. I could already hear Aunt Maria's voice in my head. Weddings are gifts you give to your guests, not the other way around. But reality eventually drowned out my embarrassment. We were in our 30s, paying for everything ourselves, no parental subsidies, and just wanted to avoid starting married life in debt. When we did the math, it was $3 per invitation. So in most households receiving 3 invites, that was $9 total. We agreed the amount was small enough that no one would feel like they were buying their ticket, but it would help us cover a significant portion of printing. I spent hours drafting a Venmo request that didn't sound demanding. I finally landed on this message: "We can't wait to celebrate with you. To help cover invitation costs, $3 per invite would be so appreciated. No pressure, your presence is the greatest gift." I felt sick to my stomach as I hit send. To my surprise, almost everyone was supportive. My college roommate sent $20 instead of $9, with a champagne-popping gif. My coworker Venmo'd exactly $9 with a cheerful "congrats" in the notes. A childhood friend I hadn't spoken to in ages sent $15 and wrote, "I'll dance like nobody's watching." It was like a digital shower of goodwill, and my anxiety started to thaw. Until Cousin Emily's notification. Instead of sending us $9, she requested $75 from me. At first, I thought maybe she'd misunderstood the app, so I texted her, "Hey Em, did you mean to send $9? I just saw a $75 request from you." Her reply came almost instantly. "I'm broke in grad school and just moved back home. I figured family covers this stuff. I can do $75. I felt like my heart dropped into my stomach. It was clear she had interpreted our Venmo as a sort of reverse gift registry, where we were expecting everyone to buy their own invitations, or that she thought this was some long-standing tradition she hadn't heard about. I took a deep breath and tried to keep things neutral. "I totally understand tight budgets. We're just asking $3 per invite to help with printing costs, so your total would be $9. Anything above that is truly generous, but this request was just to cover actual costs." Her next message hit me like a slap. "You're nickel and diming family. If you can't afford to invite your own cousin, maybe you shouldn't be having a wedding." Within minutes, my phone started buzzing with texts. Aunt Maria declared that weddings should never have strings attached. Uncle Joe chimed in that gifts are voluntary and asking for money up front is rude. Grandma called to lament that wedding etiquette used to be simpler. By that night, I was curled up on the couch with my fiancé, who was vibrating with frustration. He kept saying, "We treated everyone the same. It's fair." But I felt torn. Was fairness worth this family meltdown? Unable to sleep, I booked an emergency therapy session the next morning. My therapist listened patiently while I replayed every text and call. When I told her about the $75 request, she asked, "If this were a stranger, would you have questioned the amount?" I admitted that I would have. "Then you handled it appropriately," she said. "Family dynamics just complicate common sense." Later that afternoon, I called Emily to clear the air. I said gently, "I value you being there. If $9 is too much, please send whatever you feel comfortable with, but we can't accept $75 for 3 invites. Her response was icy. Fine, I'll send 75. Just take it. And she hung up. After that, everything felt fraught. My mom called to offer to cover the difference, and I accepted because I just wanted the drama to end. But the relief was tainted by guilt. The invitations came back looking stunning, everything we'd hoped for. Yet each envelope felt like it weighed 1,000 pounds. At my bridal shower, Emily and I exchanged tense smiles. I could feel the whispers behind my back. Even people who hadn't weighed in by text seemed to be silently judging. Friends kept asking if everything was okay, and I kept saying it was fine. But it didn't feel fine. And now with the wedding only a few weeks away, I find myself replaying every decision. Should I have just covered Emily's $9 to keep the peace? Did I commit some unspoken etiquette crime by even asking in the first place? Or was it unreasonable for her to treat our symbolic contribution request as a bill we should be paying her? I believe in transparency and fairness. I treated every guest exactly the same. But I also disrupted decades of wedding expectations, and I can see how that ruffled feathers. In hindsight, maybe I should have. Asked our parents to help communicate with relatives about our modern approach. Added a line offering a sliding scale contribution, or clarifying that no payment was expected if it caused hardship. Simplified the invitations to avoid any contribution request in the first place. Instead, here I am, exhausted and embarrassed. I feel like the invitations, these beautiful, carefully designed pieces of stationery, have become symbols of a deeper family divide. So Reddit, am I the a-hole for responding to Emily's $75 Venmo request by clarifying the actual cost instead of just accepting it in the name of peace? Did I mishandle this entirely? Or did she cross a line by inflating what was meant to be a tiny gesture of support into something so dramatic? I genuinely want to know, where does the line fall between fairness and family tradition? And what can other couples learn so they don't end up in the same spiral of guilt, confusion, and resentment over paper?